Losing it, losing it, losing it, losing it, losing it, losing it, losing it. If you got a story, we don't care if it's happy or gory, so come share your losing it story with us.
Hi guys, and welcome to Losing It with Nelsie Spencer. That would be me, and with the wonderful, charming Ronnie Whaley. Hey Ronnie.
Hello.
How are you?
Could be better.
Yeah, you're not feeling well.
Yeah, so this strange week I've been having. So I got my shot 3 days ago. I got my first Moderna shot, first dose, got the jab, left arm in the morning, came home. I was home for a while, and then I got a phone call from ADT security system in the house here. They call us, they say, we have important information about a technician that was at the house 2 weeks ago. And I was like, oh, sounds like he was positive for COVID. Then he was like, yes, he was positive for COVID. And, you know, you should get tested and all this stuff. And then, you know, I gave it to my roommate. My roommate, just got mad at them for letting that person. The kid was he wasn't being smart. He was wearing like a fake mask, not a fake mask, but it's not a mask. It's like a thing you wear when you're riding a motorcycle. It's like a thing you pull up, you know?
Yeah.
It's not a real mask. And he also took it down while he was talking to my roommate. He took it down. Yeah.
Jesus.
He was 22, you know, and he was such a millennial. He was talking about
forever, right, Ronnie?
He was there for forever. 5 hours, and he was right. See that? Yeah. The dial pad right there. He was standing there for 5 hours because you need to do stuff there. And yeah, he was such a millennial. He was talking about video games, and he was shooting the shit with both of us, and not me. I was avoiding him because I always try to do that. But he was talking to him to my roommate but my roommate needs to be there because he has all the information, the numbers and this stuff about the house,
the codes,
right?
Yeah,
the codes, all that stuff. And then they start just casually talking about video games and streaming and Twitch, and then this is how millennial he was. I went into the kitchen while he was working down here, and I looked in the trash, and there was a Monster Energy drink in there. I was like, no one here is. He might even be Gen Z.
Yeah.
But anyway, I was feeling bad. Since I got the shot, actually, yeah, I was feeling bad. I wasn't feeling good. I was feeling.
And you got the shot Monday?
I got the shot Tuesday. I got the phone call 2 days later. Right? And within those 2 days, I wasn't feeling the best. I wasn't. How would I describe it? Is I wasn't feeling 100%. So
yeah, I
had body aches, and I had a migraine, a behind my eye kind of pain type thing, and it was very mild, and a little shivery. And then I was like, I'm not
that's all because of the Moderna shot, could be, right?
Well, when I found out, I was like, oh, and my roommate was like, no, he was like, yeah, I feel horrible. Once we found out, it's we might have COVID, you know?
Oh, jeez.
So that's what we were thinking, oh, we might have COVID. And then I realized it also might be the shots, right?
The vaccine.
We don't know. Yeah, because we found out the same time, you know? So we got tested. And also, this is a weird couple of days that we've been having. So there was a chance, because he was talking to the technician more up close without a mask, that he had it and I didn't. Right,
yeah.
So, and we haven't been hanging out as often. And when I get in his car and we go, I always wear a mask in the car just because I don't mind wearing the mask, honestly. It's just easier. I don't have to lose it. So there's a chance that he has it and I don't. You know, so we've been avoiding each other, and so when I go in the kitchen, I'll text him I'm going into the kitchen now, and he's like, all right, I'm going into my bedroom now, right? Because we got to do that, right? And then last night, I got the test results and it said negative, so I don't have COVID, but I felt like crap today.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
But you are intermittent fasting.
Yes, I'm intermittent fasting and drinking like tons of coffee.
Yeah, that's not a good combo, right? No. I mean, you said you woke up with stomach cramps. Can't be having. So when because intermittent fasting, I'm sure everybody knows this. It's you don't eat for 16 hours, right?
It's
right. You have a 16-hour gap.
I always think about I think of intermittent fasting as the eating window. So my eating window is 2 hours within a day.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
So you allow yourself to eat between what and what?
5 and 7.
So you just eat once, or do you eat twice?
I eat like twice, but all my calories are in the 2 hours.
Wow! Yeah. And are you losing weight?
Well, I've only been doing it a week, so
but
you
still.
can't really. I mean, it's worked with my workflow a lot, helped with my workflow a lot because after lunch, when I eat lunch, I feel so like tired, but when I'm fasting, I'm just energized. And then when I eat at like 5 to 7, I'm like, oh, I'm resting. This is the end of the day. You know what I mean? So that's a lot of the reason why I did it too. And also weight, but yeah. But also, if you drink black coffee, you can drink black coffee and it won't screw up your fast. It won't.
Huh. Wow. Okay. So, because I kind of was intermittent fasting. I wasn't. I thought that it was like, oh, you are supposed to, like if your dinner is at 8, then the next time you eat has to be, you can't eat again until 12 because then you have this 16 hours of not eating. And I thought that's whatever. That's what I was doing.
I mean, it is. You just have to, some people's windows, they decide to make it bigger than others.
Bigger, yeah.
Yeah, you got like an 8-hour, 5-hour.
Yeah.
I have a 2-hour.
Yeah, I couldn't do it with the 2-hour. Couldn't do it. I would just be too tired. I would just have to nap.
I've done it before, so, yeah.
Well, I'm impressed. Really.
The coffee helps, though.
Yeah, I couldn't do it without coffee. But then I can't do black coffee.
Oh, yes. You can only do black coffee. Otherwise, it screws up your fast.
So all those times that I thought I was actually doing intermittent fasting, I wasn't because I put almond milk in my coffee. So damn it.
Yeah.
Damn it. All right.
Starts your metabolism.
All right, so you don't have COVID, but you still feel kind of crappy, and Abbas doesn't have it either. Did he get a negative?
He got a negative also, which is kind of crazy, honestly. I don't know how that happened. Because the guy here definitely had it. You know, he got tested a week after, and he was positive.
So that they've known that he's had it for a while before they told you guys. Because, right? Wasn't that 2 weeks ago that he was there?
Yeah. 2 weeks ago. Yeah. And he got, exactly. So I think also they were like calling everybody that he's just, because he's an ADT guy. He goes, that's his job. He goes to houses.
Jesus.
It's crazy, right?
Right. Hundreds of people he had to call probably.
It's like Santa Claus. Dozens. It's like Santa Claus had COVID. You know what I mean? Imagine. That'd be so crazy. Yeah,
step away from the Legos because it turns out Santa has COVID.
Sanitize the presents.
That's funny. That is funny. So what else? Anything else new? I guess that's pretty big news that you thought you had it and you don't. And you've gotten your first vaccine.
Got the first vaccine. Yeah. And the next one, I have it in 3 weeks from now. It's a 4-week gap in between and on the Moderna.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah.
My daughter just got her second Moderna, and she felt pretty crappy for just a day. Day after the second one.
I've noticed that it's just incredibly random. There's no standard. There's some people who feel nothing the second shot, but feel the worst in the first, and vice versa, or just feel nothing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So. Yeah. So on staying in that same topic, I got on an airplane and went to Florida.
That's right. Yeah. I would love the weekend.
Where nobody wears masks.
Yeah, it's just like.
I mean, I'm exaggerating a little bit. It kind of is. It's completely
open, right?
It's completely open, but it's like we went to Panera, and Panera's a national chain, so you have to wear your mask. I mean, I wear my mask because for a variety of reasons. I don't want to get it just because I'm stupid.
Yeah.
And I feel like the people that don't wear their masks and that just haven't worn masks are the ones that are going to be exposed the most. So, I would rather wear it just to be on the safe side and than not. I mean, that's my point of view. But like, we actually got an offender bender while we were there.
Yeah.
And, my husband changed lanes, and there was somebody in his blind spot he didn't see. So we run into this woman who's in this big red SUV. Her car was not damaged. She gets out of her car. She's clearly in her 70s, maybe in her 80s. No mask. No mask.
Really?
No.
That's
older
concerning.
people everywhere, no masks. Completely fearless. It is.
Yeah.
It's crazy. And yet, there it is. And I went to Florida, and I lived to tell the tale, and I've only been back 2 days, but so far, knock wood, I'm still healthy. Yeah.
I mean, I don't understand. Like, the mask is not that big a deal for me. It's not that
That's
bad.
what I think.
Yeah.
That's what I think. I think it's not that big a deal. But I look at people like if I go to the bank or something, or I'm at the grocery store and I look at that worker that I know has to wear that mask for 8 hours, I think that would be a drag. Like I had to wear a mask for 2 hours on an airplane. And, by the last 40 minutes or half an hour, it's like it gets really old. And then, but I did it, but having to work and wear it for 8 fucking hours, God bless them, they're doing it. And, on that versus getting COVID is so much better. But it's easy for me to say, the mask isn't it? It's easy for me to say it's not a big deal because I hardly ever have to wear it. So, went to Florida, looked at houses, might be moving there. And it was totally fun. I lived to tell the tale.
Awesome.
I feel like I had stories to tell, but I don't really. That's it. Florida, masks, old people, a lot of old people there.
Yeah.
And some young people. But yeah, I mean, we went to 2 different towns, and I said to Doug, we went to Vero Beach and to Stewart. And I looked around and I was like in Stewart, there's like 3 or 4 really good vegan restaurants. In Vero, there's no vegan restaurants. In Stewart, there's more young people. In Vero, I don't really want to move somewhere where I'm surrounded by old people, said the 64-year-old. I just don't. I don't. I like young people. I don't identify as an old person. Do you know what I mean? Even though, in fact, I am by some standards. I mean, 90-year-olds look at me and think I'm young and vibrant. But I don't see myself as old, and so I'm not dying to like this one of the realtors was like, oh, well, there's a 55 and older community. And Doug and I are both like, nah, so not interested.
That's weird. They have this is the community for you guys. Yeah, it's weird.
Well, people do that. They move to 55 and older because it's quieter, it's cheaper, whatever. Not interested. Yeah. Like, I want to move to a college town where there's young people. Yeah,
I'd definitely live around a bunch of old people around here. I mean, this is where people live their lives and retire and stuff. Where I'm at now.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's all houses and big yards and dogs. So, and I lived also in Bushwick. So,
a lot of old people in Bushwick.
A lot of young people in Bushwick.
Oh, so, right, that's what I thought. I thought Bushwick was it's sort of the new happening place in Brooklyn, right?
Yeah, exactly. So I got both sides in the past 2 years.
Yeah.
I don't have a preference really.
I guess I just want young energy,
Yeah, it makes sense.
Right? Even though I'm moving to Florida because it's warmer, I'm not moving there to retire.
Yeah. I mean, it makes sense.
I have no interest in doing that. Yeah. So, I think that's it. I don't think I have. Oh, and of course, to get a Callie update, Callie got to have a sleepover because I know everybody's like, yeah, but wait, what's up with Callie? She got to have a sleepover with Gunnar, her boyfriend.
That's right. Yeah.
And Val, Gunner's dad, said that she, when I left her, I'm like driving away and looking over my shoulder because she's standing in the backyard at the fence, like going, "Where are you going?"
What the hell is this?
What? We came to visit Gunner.
Yeah.
You're not supposed to leave.
Some cruel prank.
So yeah, exactly. She knew she was being punked. She hoped she was being punked, and so I was like a nervous mother, and I'm texting Val, and asking him like 8 questions. How's she doing? Is she barking? Does she seem sad? And he just writes back, "Fine." That's all he wrote. One word. She's fine.
Just
2
fine.
words. She's fine. That's it.
Yeah.
But it turned out she was fine. She was fine. She barked, and then she fell asleep on the sofa, and then she was a good girl. So
There you go.
yeah, it all worked out.
That's good. Yeah.
So what do we got going? We've got Andy Erikson this
That's
week.
right.
She's amazing. You found her, right, Ronnie?
Yes, another stand-up.
Another stand-up. She's so funny. She and I really got along, and which is kind of cool because you found these like 3 great female comics in a row, all of whom I feel like I'm best friends with now. And she's got a hell of a story. I won't give it away, but check it out, guys. Once again, Ronnie has found me somebody funny and smart and interesting, and that I didn't know about. But of course, I did a quick study, and so I now have fallen madly in love with her. And she is coming to us from Minnesota. Like, did my bad Midwestern imitation accent so bad. She's so funny. She's so smart. Her comedy is really inventive and surprising, and kind of, I don't know, like kind of not easy to categorize. And we'll talk more about that later. But I'm so happy to have the adorable, smart, funny, and surprising Andy Erikson.
Oh, thank you so much. That's so sweet.
Hi.
And I have just like fallen in love with you. You're so silly and fun and cool. I was like, I hope she likes me.
Of course, I know. I always think that too. What if they don't like me? Oh my God.
It's an awkward podcast. Next question.
I did have one of those. We've only had one. It wasn't a comic. We only had one, and we didn't have no chemistry.
Gotcha.
There was no riffing. There was no chemistry, and yeah, and I don't know what to do with that. It's like I just twitch. I don't know what to do when that happens.
It's just like, all right, what did you watch on TV today?
Yeah. Right. So, oh boy. So before we sort of officially started, Andy and I were talking time zones, and she dropped the bomb that she has been in Minnesota with her parents and her husband for what, 8 months, 9 months?
Yeah. What's June minus April?
June minus April. I can't do the math. Cannot do the math. July, August, September, October, November, December, January, February, March, April. Yeah, 10 months. 10 months.
Yeah, we fled LA. Well, I went back to Minnesota in June, but we moved out in August. And in August, my husband was moving everything out, and he tried to get a U-Haul. There were no U-Hauls in a 100-mile radius. So we had to go to Las Vegas to get a U-Haul because everyone was leaving and no one was coming.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Wow. So he flew to Las Vegas to get a U-Haul, or drove to, how did that work?
Drove him and his dad, his mom, and one of our friends drove in a truck.
Oh my goodness.
Stopped in Vegas on the way, picked up the U-Haul, packed up all our stuff in 2 days, and then got out of there.
Oh my God. And so let me just start with the most important question. So 10 months, I mean, you've been quarantining for longer than that with your husband, but 10 months with your husband at your parents' home, living in a hallway with a door. Any injuries? Have any relationships ended?
It has been so like randomly like stressful. Like it's hard to have roommates, but when the roommate's your mom, and my grandma lives with us too.
Oh my God, I smell a sitcom. I'm sorry.
Let's just make it. Let's get a camera crew in here too to add to the stress.
Immediately.
But it's been like just a lot of figuring out spaces and times, and people have nap times, and some people, then we're trying to record something. So it's just been, but we have a pontoon, so everything is fine.
A pontoon. What does that mean? What does that mean? I mean, I know.
I want you to guess what that means. That is
okay. Okay. So I know that if you're sailing on a catamaran, you have 2 pontoons.
Okay. You have 2 pontoons?
What? Right? And if you isn't there like a storage pontoon? I don't know. What you got to tell me.
Okay. So a pontoon in Minnesota means basically a living room on a boat. So yes, I think the things that hold it up are each called a pontoon.
Oh yeah.
So it's just like a living room. It's like a mini yacht, but not really. It's not fancy. It's just like,
Well, isn't Minnesota the land of lakes?
Yeah,
yes.
Yes, we have 10,000 lakes. So it's basically people float around on living rooms out on their lake and drive around. And it's amazing.
But wait a minute. But it's only recently probably gotten warm enough to enjoy the pontoon, yes or no?
Oh, it snowed this morning. So
oh my Lord. Oh my Lord.
So yeah, no. Still, pontoon season has started because the ice has thawed. But no, we cannot use it yet. But we think about it.
But we have a pontoon. It's there in the future. We know that. It gives us hope.
We have that.
At night when you're huddled together, you just whisper to each other, pontoon.
Yes. As we're watching the Wheel of Fortune and Jeopardy together. Who watches TV?
Oh my God. Well, I will tell you that when I'm used to visit my mother, she's no longer with us, but it would be, a little martinis, some, an olive or an onion, maybe make a nice brie, aged cheddar and Jeopardy.
Yes.
Jeopardy. Absolutely. Right.
Amazing to me.
And what do we do? What are we going to do without Alex Trebek? I don't know. Either. It's profoundly sad. Am I right?
Yes, it doesn't make any sense to me.
No. I mean, but it sounds like, I watched your comedy, like I binged your comedy today.
Okay, cool.
And which was so much fun. And I was wondering, is she this happy in real life? And you do seem to be. Or either that or you're an incredible actress. So you're just like.
No, I am really happy. But I'm learning, though, in business settings, people do not appreciate joy. It's so weird. Like, I'm trying to be
like business-like.
Yes. I have to work. I have to work so hard to just.
Let me ask you a question. Do you take out the pigtails for a business meeting?
Do.
Okay. It was just going to be a suggestion, just a suggestion.
No, I do. And I actually had like an agent who I was just getting advice from her, and without prompting, she's like, "Are you going to wear the pigtails?" And I was like, "I suppose it's time to remove the pigtails." Is that an everyday thing? It's like, well, yeah, it kind of is, because it's like a way to, like, you don't have to shower. You can just put your But you exactly nailed it right on the head. For some reason, you can't wear pigtails.
And yet Betsy Johnson, Betsy Johnson, the designer, she's got to be like, yes. I mean, I'm in my 60s, so she's got to be in her 70s, and she's still rocking those pigtails.
Yep. She's adorable and amazing.
She's adorable and amazing, and like
business-like too. She's a businesswoman.
And killing it. Absolutely unapologetic. Like, this is my look. Mm-hmm. Fuck all of you. I have an empire.
Yep.
Right?
I have an empire. Yeah, I know.
So when you have your empire, I just want your logo to be pigtails. Right? It's just like, yeah.
Yeah, I'll work on the empire.
Yeah. So, okay. So you're, okay. I have so many questions. Let's see what the best order is. Okay, let's stick with family in Minnesota a little bit. So you're home. First of all, how long have you and your husband been married?
since 2015, 6 years, May 24th.
Okay. Okay. So when you had to pack everything and put it in a U-Haul and go to live with your parents, it's not like, oh my God, we've only been married 10 months or something, right?
Yeah.
You had some solid time underneath you.
Yes, we did.
Okay.
And
Okay.
we were kind of prepared for it, but we weren't really.
No, because how
But-
can you? How can you
and so
prepare for that?
We were going between his parents and our parents and going back and forth. But what is nice though is that our parents both really want us around. So at least we have that. At least they're not like, what are you doing here? They're like, yes, I'm so glad you're home. I just want to be by you.
That's fantastic.
Yeah.
So then if they act shitty, you just threaten to leave.
Yeah, I'm gonna leave. I'm gonna take all my rent money, $0 that I had to pay. I am out of here. But
I want cookies or I'm leaving.
I know.
Bake me a pie or I am out of here.
Some new Pokemon cards, please, maybe. Yeah. But it's the best part is that so in California our rent was like $1,500 a month. 1 year you save $18,000.
Are you saving?
So we're making money by not living in LA.
I remember when I was really poor and I must have been unemployed and I got jury duty. And this was back in the day where if you did jury duty, you made $13 a day or something. And so I was making money. I was making more.
They're like, oh, we're so sorry that you're losing money today. Here's $13.
Like, no, this is good. I'm going to go get another muffin. Is that okay?
The only one pretending not to be crazy. You're like, please make me. I want to live in a hotel for a couple months.
Use me. I need the $13.50.
Innocent, guilty. I don't care.
So you're remind me your husband's name.
His name is Alex Stein.
Wait a minute. Okay, Alex and Andy, that's pretty cute.
Yeah, I know. And it's so funny. Even friends we've had for a long time, they'll call us the other name. And just not like I'm Alex to a lot of people. He's Andy to a lot of people. We just kind of share the name.
That is so funny.
Yeah.
Wow. So so you guys had some time under your belt before you moved. Both and his parents are right in the neighborhood. Are they close by?
They're about 2.5 hours north.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so it's not too bad. We take the check and we stop at Taco John, so it's worth it. We go to Taco John.
Don't.
We don't know pontoons or Taco John's. This is so fun.
School me in all things Minnesota.
Yeah, what else? You know loons?
They're a bird. Yes. Yeah. But a loon is a bird, right?
Yeah, they're our state bird. Okay, good.
Now, can you do that? Can you make that sound?
Yeah. Can you?
That's how my mother used to call us home from playing.
No way.
I swear to God.
No way.
Yeah, and I don't know. I used to be able to do it. I don't know if I can do it anymore.
Yeah.
No. Mm-mm. And it would go, woo, 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 woo. That's how she would call us home. Oh, you did it. And so does that sound like the loon? Does that sound like the state bird?
Yeah, it pretty much does. Yeah. Depending on how the loon's feeling, like if the loon's having a good day.
Is it a melancholy loon? Is it a happy loon? All right. So how long? So you're back for 10 months, and how long had it been since you basically moved west? We moved to California.
In January 1st of 2014. So we lived there for 6 years, 6.5 years.
Oh, okay.
We were planning on staying. Like we had no reason to leave. Alex is an actor. He was getting a bunch of gigs. He had worked more commercial work that year than ever. I had just gotten losing the show, but I was auditioned that year. Like things were going so well. I got booked to do cruises for the first time. I was supposed to start on.
Now, wait a minute. I saw on your website that in January of 2020, you did a Carnival Cruise. And I was like, is that a bit or was she really on a cruise when COVID hit? Were you on a cruise when COVID hit?
No. Okay. So here's what happened. And it kind of ties into the losing it part. Is I was supposed to be on that cruise. I had 2 cruises I was supposed to do and multiple. I had a bunch scheduled, but I lost vision in one of my eyes. So I had to go and have surgery. So I didn't end up doing them. And that was even, but I could have been on a cruise, like when COVID was roaring, I could have been stuck on a cruise ship. So it ended up being good that I lost vision in my eye, because then I had the surgery and I canceled the cruises.
And how's the eye?
Now my eye is doing wonderful. I see better than I did before.
Thank goodness. Do they do like fancy bionic shit with the lens and everything?
Maybe one day, but what happened was my lenses dislocated, so they dropped out. So they're held up. I know that can happen. It can happen to you. No, I don't want to scare people. But like our lenses are held up by little fibers all in our eyes to hold them in place, and my fibers just detached and my lenses fell. And then
do they know what, for some reason now, and we're talking about eyes, I'm having the eye itch. Do they, when I'm worried, I'm a little worried about my lenses. Do they know why that happened?
Yes, I have a connective tissue disorder called Marfan syndrome that makes my tissues weaker. So I'd been monitoring it. We knew it was going to happen eventually. So when it happened, I was kind of like, okay, cool. I can't see. Let's go to the hospital.
Wow.
Yeah.
So the connective tissue thing, which I would think, does that work with muscles and joints and stuff?
Joints, mostly the heart, the eyes, the spine, and the lungs. So nothing too important.
So nothing important.
Yeah, exactly.
We both said at exactly the same time. Yeah. Oh, just the eye, the heart, the lungs, and the spine. Not a problem. Thanks, Doc. I'll see you in 6 months.
Why can't it be like, oh, like your pinky finger? Or like, oh,
right. Yeah. You might not be able to do this in 6 months. Oh, shit. I can't go on. Oh, my God. Well, I love so when were you diagnosed with that?
When I was 2 or 3, yeah, really young. So I've known my whole life. Yeah.
Wow. Okay. All right. So it's kind of normal.
Yeah, it totally is. I monitor it, and it's weird. I think some people who deal with things, sometimes they end up with anxiety, but I ended up on the other end of the spectrum where I'm just like, what can you do?
What can you do? It's funny because I have that side to me as well. I had something weird called a molar pregnancy when I was in my 50s, and it looks like you're pregnant. So first of all, I thought I had miraculously was going to procreate in my 50s, not looking forward to that. And then it turned out to be this weird thing that's a molar pregnancy where I don't need to go into the details. Fast forward, I lose 1/4 of my blood because I hemorrhage. Yeah. Part of it on a soccer field while I'm like, go team to my son's team. Yeah. Yeah. But I'm like you. I'm like, oh, well, I guess I'd better get to the bathroom.
So true.
And then fast forward, they don't know why it's happened. At one point, they thought I'd had a tubal pregnancy that had burst.
Oh, ectopic?
Yeah. And they said, but you'll know. Oh, you have an ectopic pregnancy, but if it bursts, you'll know because you'll be in pain. So go immediately to the emergency room.
Oh, gosh.
And so the next morning, I don't know, 3 mornings later, I call my girlfriend and I'm on my way to watch my son play baseball. She's like, how you doing? I said, I don't know, still got a little pain down there, but I'm going to watch Malcolm's game. And then I think I'll go to the emergency room. And she's like, no, you're not. You're going to the emergency room now.
So funny.
Yeah. Okay. All right.
We need those people in our lives who are like,
right.
Yeah.
But I love that you're like, oh, right, I can't see. I guess I need that emergency surgery. But it wasn't emergency because you were expecting it kind of.
Yes, but it definitely was something they have to fix because if the lens touches your cornea, those cells don't regenerate. So if it falls forward, you could go blind. So it's still like very serious. But what my issue I came in with was I was so chill about it. Like I called my agent and I was like, hey, I can't do the cruise. I was leaving for the airport. And I think I was so chill that he was just kind of like, okay, well, we're going to need some sort of documentation or something to like prove that and I was like, I totally understand that for the cruise driver, but I think I was so chill that they're like, do you just not want to do the cruise? So I'm like, no, I want so bad. I so bad want to be in the Caribbean.
Want to do the cruise.
Doing a couple 20-minute sets while eating and drinking and having I don't think you're allowed to drink as a crew, but whatever. I would have found a way.
Oh my God. Oh my God. So, okay. Wow. That's a heck of a story. I have to say that when I saw that on your website, I really thought, now that I know you so well, because I had watched a bunch of your sets. So I was like, this is just
So
her
funny.
doing a goof. This is just Andy doing a goof. But
That
no.
is, now I need, that is so funny. It would, that is way funnier than the actuality is that I haven't updated my website since January of 2020.
Well, I
like,
did notice that because you were like
I'm done.
I think you also have something on your website that's like updated, often, or I don't know. I don't know what the line was. And then I was like, but who updates it's a pandemic.
Yeah. Updated daily.
Yeah. Still in Minnesota.
Yeah. Hey guys.
Still in Minnesota.
Not safe to go to comedy clubs. So
thinking about pontoons.
Pontoons.
Okay. So okay. So I'm supposed to time this. I really wasn't paying attention. Okay. All right. So I have many more questions.
Okay.
But it's kind of time for the losing it story.
Okay.
And I know you have a good one because I just feel it in my bones. So what you got? I'm ready when you are.
So my losing it story does tie in with all of this because yes, I lost my vision in January, February, whatever. So I'm at home with my mom visiting. And while I was visiting, I'd been kind of dealing with lightheadedness and dizziness that's related to like my Marfan syndrome, whatever. But one day, and it was kind of a normal day, my husband came downstairs and I was just like he thought I was meditating, but I had actually lost consciousness. I was completely unconscious, just laying on the bed like this with my back. And my husband was like trying to get me to respond. And he was like, oh gosh, you just weren't really, you weren't responsive. You were unresponsive. And what was
as they say,
yes, they say,
that's not good.
Yes.
We're going to come up with an adjective. The adjective was non-responsive. Oh, okay. That's not good.
Which is funny to me though, because he told me later on, he's like, yeah, you're unresponsive. But he's like, but that wasn't really out of the ordinary for you. It's not out of the ordinary for you to not respond to me when I say something. So oh, that's okay, I need to work on that. I need to listen better so that if I ever pass out, he goes to immediately, oh, she's in danger, not, oh, she's
not just ignoring me.
So yeah, so I was unresponsive. It was bad. I need to work on it.
Oh,
but
God.
In this case, it was not my fault. And so he found me, and he was obviously terrified right away. He was shaking me, Andy. And I
oh, honey.
And he sat me up, which I don't know if that's good or bad, but as he sat me up, I remember, this is I remember being in a dream, which was so weird too. I was talking to one of my teachers and figuring it out. And then all of a sudden I just got pushed through just whiteness, blank, just everything was just sparkly and white, which was just my vision coming back. So I knew, I was I'm pretty sure this isn't heaven. But it was it's my basement. And I was that'd be weird if I was.
Right. Is it heaven or is it a basement in Minnesota?
I don't know. It's really hard to tell. I'm looking at
I think if that's what heaven is, we're all going to want a refund.
Yeah, sorry, it's right here. And it's not very busy, so I'm kind of worried.
You're the only one. You're the only one who made it, Andy.
So he sits me up, and then slowly my vision comes back, and everything is in slow motion. I'm talking really slow. He's talking slow, and I'm just and I just kept going, whoa. I was just this is so weird. And then they called down my mom and
oh my God, he must have been so scared.
He was so scared, but yeah, just because he just thought I maybe had died. But luckily I was coming to, and yeah, he was just freaking out. And my mom ran downstairs and she's freaking out too. And then I'm just sitting up though, and I'm starting to come back to normal. I'm starting to feel normal, but my pants were wet, and they were oh, your pants are wet. And I was just oh, that's weird. What could that be? And we were just like trying to figure out. And then my mom was like, she asked me, should we call 911? And I was just kind of like, yeah, like that sounds like a good idea. Because at first I was kind of like, because I've had to call 911 a few times, and you kind of weigh it like, is this worth the expense? Can we afford it? And I was just like, especially when I was living in LA and I called ambulance, I called my mom first, and I was like, hey, I just had a bunch of chest pain. Is it okay if I call 911? And my mom was like, yes. And I was like, okay, I just wanted to make sure. I don't know how much it's going to cost.
Right. Can you imagine the mother that says, oh, honey,
yeah, just
don't bother them, for God's sake.
Real problems. Your chest pain.
By the way, I'm busy decoupaging. Don't bother me. I'm scrapbooking.
Sorry.
Oh, okay. So mom says, okay, so
yes.
It's in slow motion, but you think, yeah, I got to dial 911.
Yes. And it was like, it ended up being, I hadn't peed myself, but I was like, if I peed myself, then definitely that's a thing, like something's wrong. But I had actually fallen backwards onto my bottle of contact solution. It had just like sprayed out.
Oh.
But it was almost good that happened, because if I hadn't thought I peed myself, I might have just been like, oh, I must have just been lightheaded. I'm on blood pressure medication. I was like, maybe I was dizzy, whatever. But then that was like, yeah, I think if there's ever pee, you go.
Yeah, I've peed myself, and it's not because I was day drinking. Let's make that call.
Something happened to my body. But so we called 911, and we had like they came, they stayed with me on the phone. But this was just super weird to me too, because the 911 the EMT guy comes in, the ambulance driver walks in. He's this bigger guy, jolly, way too jolly, I think. If he would be the type of guy who'd be wearing pigtails, and I'd be like, that's not appropriate. You're in EMT. Like, what's going on?
Yeah, buddy, can you dial down the jolly? Okay, I've wet myself. Just take it down a notch.
I don't know, what is this heaven? I'm so confused. What are you doing here? But he was just like, he asked me, he's like, hey, how you doing? And he made a joke like, probably not too good. And I'm like, what is happening? And then he asked, he's like, well, it's awkward to ask this. I know for women don't like being asked this, but what's your weight? I'm like, I'm 165 pounds, you fucker. I don't care about my weight. Let's just get this. I don't care. I'm not embarrassed about my weight. I'm dying.
Yeah, I'm dying, and I'm now fucking furious at you pig.
Yeah.
165 and proud, fuckhead.
I'm fine with my weight. Like, oh gosh, like, you want to know how long it's been since I showered? 2 weeks. Who cares? Let's do this. I am not embarrassed about anything. Get your information. Like, and then it just kind of felt like he wanted to be a comedian. Like, I know those people. It's like,
oh yeah.
I was a comedian. Thank God, because then he would have dialed.
It would have been worse. He would have been trying out bits on you.
Which I know for a fact these were bits he was doing, but these were bits he knew these were good bits. He's done these bits a lot. He knows people love these bits. He's been doing this for 40 years, he told me. And I think people must love him, because I get it. If you're in a regular situation, some guy in your like, you want someone to make you feel normal or whatever.
Yeah,
but I was just like, as a comedian, to me, I was just like, I don't want to be at work right now.
I don't need an insecure comedian wanting me to like their jokes.
Right. Yeah. And
I need you to check my vitals, okay?
My blood pressure. And it's just like, I've talked about this a couple of times, but like as he's like pulling things out of his like EMT bag, I'm like, oh my God, he's a prop comic. Which to me made me laugh. So a friend, when I was telling them about the story, they said that to me, and I was like, that is such a good line. Like, that is so like, he
pulls out the blood pressure cuff, then a rubber chicken, then
oh, you want to buy my CD? My merch.
I've got merch. Holds up a t-shirt.
Great merch table. Like, I survived.
Okay, so he does eventually, hopefully, put you in an ambulance?
Yes. And what's weird too is I have a couple cousins who are EMTs and ambulance drivers as well. And they thought it was weird. Like normally they put you on like a stretcher and they take you up, like no matter what, like if you just are having a heart attack or something, but they were just like, we'll walk with you up the stairs. And my cousins were just like, what? They could have taken that stretcher down the side of the house, gone into the back door, put you on and wheeled you up. There was no reason for you to be walking or standing.
Wow.
But I was like, for me, I was like, okay, let's see if I can walk. I could walk. That was fine. Then I get in the ambulance driver, and there's two, they work as a pair, and the driver literally looked like he was 16 years old. And I was like, does he have his license? What is happening? Like, he was so young.
He stopped at the 7-Eleven, asked you if you could buy him some beer.
Yeah, just on the way. Well, we got time. There's no rush. Oh my gosh. But what was really cool, I have it somewhere. In the ambulance, I knew that like, this was during COVID, this was in June. And I knew that I wasn't going to have any visitors. I was going to be in there alone.
Yeah.
Like my family couldn't visit. They were going to be in the parking lot. So I asked if I could have a stuffed animal. And he said, we do have stuffed animals. Normally they're just for kids, but I'll make an exception. And he was nice about that. And now I remember the EMT's name was Billy because I named the llama after him. So Billy, now I remember.
Billy the llama.
Yes. And so I had a little stuffed animal llama with me then while I was in the hospital. So he pulled through. He was a good.
So now wait a minute. Did Billy have llamas with him or did you grab a llama from, I mean, I'm a little confused.
They had little llamas in the ambulance. They had
no kidding.
I think for children.
That's
right.
Oh, that's adorable.
I know.
And did you spy a llama and say, I want one?
No, but I have been in the emergency room and not at the actual emergency room. And when I've been in there, I've asked for a stuffed animal before. And this was when I could have friends and family with me.
And you still wanted a stuffed animal.
I mean, it's free. And so they've given me them before. So I was like, I have a feeling. I was like still working my game. I was like, I'm going to get as much out of this ambulance trip as possible. I'm going to get something filled with cotton. Like, let's get a stuffed animal. And so I had a feeling.
I'm not coming out of this trip empty-handed. That's all I know.
Give me some syringes and swabs.
And yeah, hand me that llama.
Yeah, I'll take two. I wanted to.
So Billy gave you a llama and you ended up at the hospital.
Yes, went in, which is great if you have a heart thing. It's like VIP. Like you get right in. You go in with like a leg thing or, an arm thing.
No. That's like when I went in and I thought I had an ectopic pregnancy in like that. You check in, check in at the front desk and you're like, well, I think I might have a burst ectopic pregnancy. I don't even finish the sentence and you're in it. I'm like, I tell my friends, use that. You go to the emergency room, you just tell them that. When it turns out to be a sprained ankle, say, oh, gee, I had no idea.
That's what that was. Weird.
So weird because I had a pain in my ovary. That's so weird that I have a sprained ankle.
Here, let's deal with the sprained ankle. Give me a stuffed animal too.
Yeah, and you can give me a transvaginal ultrasound later. Okay, so you get there. They think it's a heart thing, so they take you right in.
Yes, yep. They're monitoring my heart. They do a CT scan, an X-ray, and they're just kind of watching. And what was actually really cool was I was wearing a Zio patch, which monitors your heart rate. You stick it on. I'd been wearing them off and on to try to figure out and map my heart rate. So they had that on, and they could look back at that and see what happened to my heart in the instant that it happened.
Wow,
pretty cool. They couldn't get to that information right away. They had to mail it in, but we had that later, and we were able to look back and see that I did have an elevated heart rate, but that my heart didn't stop. It was just beating really, really fast. And so while I was at the hospital, then they were like, hey, we're going to monitor you. They took me off all my meds. They're like, we're going to try some different medications, and things were starting to look good. So I got in on Monday, and then by Wednesday, I was like, okay, I'm feeling good.
Had they diagnosed? Did they know what was wrong?
They didn't know what was wrong. They just thought it might have been just really low blood pressure, and then my heart rate and had elevated. So I get to Wednesday, and like we're thinking, okay, maybe I'm gonna get to go home. Things are good. And that next morning, like Thursday morning, in the middle of the night, I got up to go to the bathroom and I went and laid back down and I went into cardiac arrest. Yeah. So I was like, and
Honey, oh my God.
yeah, but maybe because they took me off all my medications, they say no, but I'm like, maybe you shouldn't have just taken me off of everything. Like,
Right. I mean, I'm assuming you were taking medications for a reason.
yeah, and they took me out of all of them, and they say no, but like on all my bottles, it says do not abruptly stop. It says on all of them, so I'm like, whatever. So that was, you know, they'd been kind of monitoring my heart for a while for accelerated heart rate. So what ended up happening was, and all I remember is I remember laying down and I was feeling very just like doom. But then I passed out. Like I do not remember my heart rate. What happened then is my heart rate started beating so fast that no blood was going anywhere. It was beating like 300 beats a second, just grrr. So then no blood was being pumped because it was going so fast. It was just like stuck.
Like, yeah.
So then my machines like start beeping like crazy, and I don't know any of this, but I only know it
because you've passed out.
Yes, and like nurses come rushing in, and they start doing compressions and CPR. So they actually like put like this machine on me and like use that, because I read that like only 20% of people who have go into cardiac arrest, I think even in a hospital, I think survive. Like I think it's I thought, I was like, oh, CPR and you live. Like I felt,
yeah, because every TV show you see, somebody has, clear, and then they're fine, and then they're jogging the next day, right? Exactly. Every TV show, they 1 in 20 doesn't come back.
Yeah. So and I'll have to look at the statistics again. So everyone is listening, just look it up. I don't know 100%, but I remember being like, oh wow, I could have died, because I was thinking, well, I'm at the hospital, so I didn't have anything to worry. It was like, no, your heart stops. It's pretty bad. But so they did that. They did the compressions, and they actually had to do it twice. But then they got me stable. And the next thing I remember is waking up in the ICU. So then I wake up and everything is just like, I have a tube in my throat. I have a ventilator in my throat. So I can't.
Oh my God.
I can't. I'm just so confused. But what was really weird was that my husband was in there, and that made me feel good, but also made me feel like, shit's
real. Yeah. If they're letting him in here during COVID.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
So and they let him in.
And did he was he looking at you with deep concern and love and worry? Do you know what I mean? Like, did his face reflect back to you? Yeah, things are bad.
Oh yeah, I mean? He was crying because they didn't know they didn't know if there had been brain damage or anything, because they didn't really know how long.
Oh my God.
Like, yeah. So they were really scared. And it's so like hearing it from my husband's side just really feels just like so much more traumatic than what I went through, because I wasn't awake. So on Monday, my husband went into the hospital and they tried to visit me. They couldn't. Tuesday, they were like, please, can we just see her? We have some stuff we want to drop off. No, you cannot drop off anything. No stuffed animals, no books, nothing. Like they let me have my contact solution for some reason. I was like, they have contact solution here. Why are you like, I just want my book, please, so I can read my book and hug my stuffed animal that I know, but I like the llama.
Yeah. And then, no offense, Billy, but you know,
I have others. And then on Wednesday,
we don't know each other that well yet. So glad you're here. Stop snuggling. Okay.
They're a little small. I like bigger.
Size, turns out size matters when it comes to stuffed animals.
So then Wednesday he came in and asked if he could see me, and they're like, still like, no. But then Thursday, after he'd gotten the phone call about me going into cardiac arrest in the ICU, he went up to the desk and he was like, hi, I'm here wondering if I can see my wife, Andy Erikson. They said yes. And then he just started bawling because he was like, no, they're letting me see her. So he was just like, he was so scared and like, just so worried. And then so they let him in, and then my mom's in and she's like taking pictures of me, like just laying there. She's got photos of us together because she's just like, I don't know, wants to remember everything.
Mom's doing a selfie.
Yeah.
A selfie in the hospital with Andy in ICU.
I just happened to be there. But I came through, and this was something too that was really interesting. And I've talked about on stage a couple times too, because I learned something about myself, because I was very drugged up when they took the ventilator out. And I believe that like who you are, like when you're on drugs or whatever, that's like your true self or whatever. So they take the ventilator out, and the first thing I say after they take the ventilator, the very first thing is I go, did I take a ventilator from someone with COVID? I was just like,
In other words, did you guys just kill me? Or did I take it away from someone else who needed it?
yes, I think that, yeah.
Okay. See, do you see how this is how my mind works?
In my head, I'm just like, someone has COVID. Like, give it to this girl. But yeah, so I learned that I'm just really nice. That I was like,
You're really nice.
upset.
You're codependent with COVID patients you've never met.
I want to make sure, right? And so
I
was just,
know
like,
I'm
more
still
worried.
alive, but did I kill someone else? Am I alive at someone else's peril?
Did they need this? And I was like, no. She was like, no, you needed it. It's the people who have COVID who have been going out and going to all these parties and events and stuff who are taking the ventilators from.
This is your mom?
Yeah. No, I don't know. But yeah, so I got my ventilator. Woo woo. And it's funny too. I'd done jokes about ventilators before then. I like made one out of Legos and was showing it on Zooms, like, look what I made. It's a ventilator. Like, I'm helping to, like, just totally joking about ventilators. And of course, a couple weeks later, I'm on one. It's just like, okay, karma.
Oh, all that ventilator humor that's sprung to the fore.
There you go.
And you're really in the epicenter of it.
Yeah. So now I can actually joke about it and not feel bad.
There you go. There you go.
It's all about material. Like,
Yeah. Exactly. Exactly. Whatever's happening, you just know this is going to make such a good story. This is going to make such a good story. This is a fucking nightmare, but it is going to be such a good story.
Keep it coming, God.
I need more material.
Bring it on. Oh no, please stop. Actually,
yeah. Just kidding.
I'm so like, dear God, please. This podcast does not count for me.
Yeah. My husband will say something and I will say, the universe is listening, and they don't have a sense of humor. They don't understand sarcasm.
Hilarious. So true.
Okay. So you're in the hospital.
Yes.
You wake up, your husband is there weeping. Your mom is there saying, no, that ventilator's for you, damn it.
Yeah.
And taking selfies. And what next? Then what?
So then my family had to leave since I was doing okay. They were like, all right, you're good. We got to get these people out of here. And then I was in the ICU for a couple more days. And my nurse was so amazing. All the nurses there were so kind, so loving. They were working their freaking asses off.
Yeah.
Caring for people. And they were just in their element, and they were just seriously warriors. I've always had a huge respect for nurses, but just seeing in this situation just had it grow even more. Just being like, yeah, you're risking your lives now.
Every frigging day. Yeah.
So that was pretty cool. And then I got to kind of have a viral video because my family, they couldn't visit. So like I looked out the window of my ICU and I saw like a heart on the parking structure. So they were able to find that same like graffitied heart. And my family, like, they made a bunch of signs and like showed me all the signs. So like I went over to my window and I'm just filming them, and like my mom has a sign like, we love you, and my husband's just like, you're the best, babe, get well soon. And then my brother just has a sign that just says, Packers suck. Which I'm a Minnesota Vikings fan, so that made me just so happy. So weird, so random, doesn't make any sense just to be at a hospital being like, hey guys, the Packers suck, just But
it's the perfect punchline for the viral video. Hello.
I know, I zoomed like right into it and I posted it on like a Minnesota Vikings thread, and it was pretty cool.
Perfect. Oh my God.
That was pretty cool getting to see that.
And so that's big brother or little brother?
Big brother, yeah.
Is he your only brother or your only sibling?
I have one older brother and a younger sister. Is
he middle child?
I know.
Do you feel like you are a classic middle child?
Yes. But classic. in that, like, my parents were like, whatever, she'll be fine.
Yeah. Yeah. They say that the middle child is sort of the lost child, that they're sort of doing there's the first and then there's the baby.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
That's starting to, some
So-
things are starting to come back.
So what's the long and short of the whole thing?
Okay, so it's not even over yet.
Oh, good.
I'm
Good.
out of-
I'm at the edge. I'm on the edge of my office chair.
There's so many things that happened in this 1 week. So I'm out of the ICU. I'm getting better. They got me on some new medications. They're thinking, we're just gonna change up her medications and we'll monitor her, but she's doing okay. We just doesn't need to be in the ICU anymore. Like, we can send her back to the new room. So I'm in this new room, chilling, hanging out with my nurses. There's like 30 of them. So there's different ones. I'm like, hey, go hanging out. And suddenly in the morning, my heart starts beating really fast.
Oh my Lord.
And the machines start going. And all of a sudden,
my Lord.
15 nurses come running in. So that's how I knew what happened when I was unconscious, because when those machines are happening, they have these monitors all throughout the hospital. If someone starts coding, they run in. So they're all running in. It was funny too. They're all just trying to be chill, like, hey, what's going on? It's like it had stopped coding and started coming back normal. But they were kind of just like trying to just keep me chill, just being like, how are you feeling? Yeah, cool girl, hi. I'm just like, what? And they're like, well, your heart went into torsades again, which means that it was beating really, really fast. It only lasted a certain number of seconds, but I think you need to have heart surgery. I think you need to have a pacemaker. And I was just like, then I just started crying, because I was just like, we have so much built up in our minds about like what it means to like have to have a pacemaker, and how it makes me feel broken, and it makes me feel like I'm dying soon.
And pacemakers are for like old guys in their 70s or whatever, right? They're not for me. Look at me. I'm young. I'm adorable. I'm vibrant. What are you talking about? I have pigtails. No.
No.
Sorry.
Nope. Turn that machine off. We're going home. And so then it was just like, I have to have a pacemaker, and I didn't have my regular doctors. I was normally seen by specialists who understand Marfan syndrome. But let's.
I want to pause just for a second, because I think, first of all, I loved what you said. I loved what you said. The reason I love it so much is because you said it made me feel broken, and I think that's such it's such a powerful statement. And I think that so many of us walk around feeling broken for different reasons, right? Whether it's the childhood you had, or I don't know. I think it's usually connected to childhood. And so we often walk around feeling broken. And I think it's interesting. I'm interested to know your relationship sort of to that idea, given that you were diagnosed with the illness that you had when you were 3, did you say?
Yep.
So you're kind of used to it, and it's kind of normal. And did that not diagnosis and being on medication, all that, did that previously make you feel broken, or make you feel, how did that come into how you define yourself?
Well, it definitely impacted. It's all part of your life to have an illness that you're constantly treating, because you're constantly in the hospital, whatever, and you're different from all your friends, and you feel different, even though my mom wanted me to live a super normal life. So I wasn't as careful as I maybe should have been, maybe because I was a middle child, like, whatever, she'll be fine. But when I was in 4th grade, I found out I had to have my first heart surgery. And my teacher was giving just a general talk on health. And she was saying, well, you need to exercise because you want to keep your heart good, because if you don't, you're going to end up on a bunch of medications. You're going to end up in the hospital. You're going to have surgeries. And I was just, and that, you're going to have to deal with all that. So make sure to be healthy. And I just cried in class, because I was just like, I'm already on a bunch of medication. I'm already go to the hospital.
Had surgery. Yeah.
I'm already doing all this stuff. And you're telling me I need to exercise. I'm told that I can't exercise in the same way that you want people, like, oh, play basketball. Well, I can't, because if I get hit with the ball, like, I could go blind, like all this stuff. So she was telling me all these things I needed to do in order to be a good, healthy person. And I was just crying in class, because like, well, I'm not healthy. You just told me I'm not healthy. I'm not a good person. Like, I'm doing things. And I was just like,
and did she realize you were crying? Did she do anything?
Oh yes. She came up to me and talked to me, and she gave me a hug. She told me, no, this isn't this. Like, your body is the way it needs to be. You're fighting, you're doing the best that you can. And you have a wonderful heart. You have a wonderful heart that just needs, a little more attention and love and care. But
Oh my goodness. So she handled it really well after she made you weep.
After she, and how was she supposed to know?
How exactly.
Yeah. And when I was in the hospital, because I had known I needed to have the surgery, and then I had to miss some of that grade actually. And all the students made cards for me and stuff while I was in the hospital. So yeah, it was really great. But yeah, as far as feeling broken, that's what I deal with so much and struggle with, because I have this heart and I'm so mad at it because I just want it to work good, because I just want to live. I just want to live a normal life. And I know everyone's dealing with something, but it's also just but I just want to be able to walk around the house without being afraid that I could die. I just want to go in the kitchen. I just want to go outside. I don't even, my dreams are literally to just go and eat breakfast and not be in pain. And there's a lot of people dealing with that, but you also know that so many people don't even have to worry about just the day to day. But everyone's got something.
Everybody's got their stuff. But here's the thing that I want to say, because I think it's really easy to mind fuck ourselves. You know what I mean? To well, I don't get to complain because people in Africa have to spend all day walking 30 miles to get enough water so they can drink. Yes, that's true. But that reality doesn't change our own realities and the struggles that we face and that we struggle.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't minimize that. I think we're all so afraid of sounding unappreciative or ungrateful or privileged or whatever. And I get that, and you're not that kind of person. Clearly you count your blessings every day. I mean, you fucking have pigtails, for God's sake. You are clearly, some of your jokes, like the Sesame Street joke, which I wanted to bring up earlier, but then we had to get to.
Oh my God.
She goes from Sesame Street. Why don't they teach you something useful, like how to pour scotch for your dad? Which I have to say is my favorite joke of yours.
Oh my God.
And I just love, let's go from Sesame Street to scotch for dad.
Out of nowhere.
Yeah. And it's, and so the point what point are you making, Nelsie? No, the point I'm making is we're allowed to grieve whatever our struggles are and have feelings about whatever our struggles are. That doesn't make us a bad person or I just think we mind fuck ourselves all the time. And I think so anyway, I just wanted to give you permission to be mad at your heart. God damn it.
I know. And it's just this battle, and it's but what's really cool though is that now that I have this pacemaker in, which I was just kind of dreading, it's it also has an ICD in it, and it connects to Wi-Fi. That's cool. Right? Got a hotspot.
You're what's your Wi-Fi password? Oh, we can't tell you. Yeah, well, I have a pacemaker. So tell me the fucking code.
What's your Wi-Fi? Yeah.
I have to connect my pacemaker. Okay.
So send some data, some heart data. Serious
Stupid
stuff.
bitch at Panda Express. God damn it.
Give me the password. And I want the bathroom code too.
Yeah. While you're at it, give me the bathroom code.
Get whatever I want. I have a
so that was I'm screwed up about the timeline. So that was last year you got it? Last spring?
Last June. Yep, last spring.
Oh, last June.
So I went into the hospital, and then within 40, they put it in. And then, which was also really cool too, because my husband ordered one of those, that service where you can pay a celebrity to do something. And there's a famous Japanese musician, and he's kind of just this quirky little Japanese musician guy. He's really a fun guy, and he paid him to play a song for me. So yeah, it was $150 or whatever. He was it's worth it. So I got to watch that right before I went into
surgery
operation. And they also let my mom back in. So my mom got to come in before the surgery. That was really nice too. Got to see her, and me and her just laugh and joke, because they came in and said, "Hey, do you want a pastor to come in to come see you before?" And I was like, "No, thanks. I'm good."
No, I'm going to have mom. I'm going to have mom instead of a pastor.
And so my mom was there when I said no. And I was like, "No, I just really I don't need that right now. I got other things to worry about." I'm fine.
Yeah,
And he
yeah.
ended up coming in anyways. And then he comes in and I'm just in there just kind of like, cool. And so he's just like, so is there anything you'd like want me to pray on or pray about? I was like, are you kidding me? Yeah. Like, have you looked outside? Like, there's riots going on. There's COVID. I need to have heart surgery. What do you mean? Is there anything special? You should be praying already.
Did you say that to him?
No.
Did you go?
I should have. I told it to my mom after. I was just like, what? I was like, why aren't you praying already? These things should already be taken care of.
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
Why aren't you already praying?
Yeah.
Start praying for the world.
You really need to tell. You really need me to tell you what to pray for.
Yeah, anything. Yeah,
get
everything.
out of here and start praying. Damn it!
Use your magic powers to fix things. or what?
Yes.
Yeah. But he was really nice, and we did some prayers, and I was just kind of like, I don't know. It was nice to know that I was cared for, and I already asked Jesus into my heart. So if he doesn't want me, it's like whatever. Like I asked him, it's on him now. Balls in his court. Like seriously.
Jesus, balls in your court. Okay. I said yes. And you are ghosting me. Okay. So you're pissing me off.
Straight up ghosting us.
Jesus is ghosting us. Oh, okay. Okay. So you go in. First of all, your husband is just the sweetest and the cutest.
Yeah.
And I loved him I loved him in the video. I got to see you propose to him. That was incredibly special. You guys, if you haven't seen that, go to YouTube and just put Andy Erikson in and you'll see, and it'll come up where she
at the meltdown. Andy Erikson at the meltdown.
Really so sweet. I don't want to give it away, but I really liked him then and now and then when he was weeping when you woke up in ICU, and now he got the quirky Japanese guy to sing you a song. I mean, I don't know. I feel like, if you found out he was a serial killer, you might just let it go because he's got a lot of good qualities.
I mean, I might help him. That sounds fun. Like, I'm unemployed.
Who are we killing? Let's get that straight.
Let's make a list. Let's do it. My weird bucket list.
Oh, Billy, the EMT guy. Yeah, I'm on board.
Yeah. Call 911. Oh, you're already here. How you doing? Oh, probably not so good. How much do you weigh? Can I ask that, or is that weird?
As you're bleeding out, do you mind if I ask you what you weigh? Okay. So you go in and you come out and you got a pacemaker and it's got Wi-Fi and now what? Like
now it's what was so weird too. They did the surgery and like they're like, all right, time to go. Like the next day, and I was like, you don't need anything else? Like, well, no. Now you've got this thing in you. If you need to be shocked, it'll shock you. So it's like you're incredibly safe now. Like they're almost like, we're not even worried. Go live your life.
Wow.
So then I kind of dealt with that. Like I couldn't lift my arms above my head for a while. That was fine. And then they told me that you can't lift anything over 40 pounds. But my husband thought they said 20. So he was just helping me with everything. Like, well, I can't. Still, I think thinks I can't lift more than 20 pounds.
Yeah, just keep that going.
And I've just been kind of managing. I've been following up with my doctors, and this connects to like a little Wi-Fi portal that has cell service. It's basically just like a hotspot that I connect with every night, sends it up. So they're monitoring it. If they notice anything, they'll call me. And I just kind of wait and see if I get shocked. And they say like, you'll feel it. It feels like getting kicked in the chest by a horse. And they're saying some people, they'll just be shopping. They'll feel they're lightheaded. It'll shock them. And then they'll be like, okay. And then they'll just continue grocery shopping and they'll just go on the day. But they say like, maybe call us. But like some people, if it just happens once, they don't even call 911.
Wow.
But others, they're like, yeah, if it happens twice, definitely call us. But it's just weird. It's just like, it's weird to be so scared and like upset with my heart, but then be like, how cool is it that we live in a time where I can actually have a full life? Because like I wasn't supposed to live past 13. I had my heart surgeries that have like kept me alive and going, and I have these medications and doctors. So it's like,
so you're just a walking miracle.
Yeah, I get to be a miracle. So every day is a gift. And what also is interesting with COVID too is living away from your family in LA is really hard because you're missing out on so much, but you're also pursuing your dreams, and which is great. But I don't think I ever would have. It would have taken a lot to get me to move back home. And I'm actually
Mhm.
grateful that I got to come back home. And this past year, I've spent so much time with my family and my nieces who are little. Like, it was like a blessing in disguise to like have a reason where it's not, I'm not giving up. I'm not giving up. I had to move. It's like,
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
with my family. And I've been experiencing that. And like, I'm so glad I wasn't on a cruise ship when I had my heart attack. I'm so glad I was with my family and I got to do that. And then now, since having the surgery and that, like, we're trying to decide, do we go back to LA and pursue that again? Do we stay here? Like, what are we going to do? And I'm kind of like, you know what? I don't know how long I'm going to be here. So let's go to Japan. So me and my husband now applied for visas and stuff. And so when Japan opens up, which it could be a year, who knows? It could
Yeah.
be,
Yeah.
we will have student visas and we're going to study in Japan for a year. Cause I'm like, whatever, which would have been so hard to do if I was still pursuing acting in comedy, which I am.
Right.
I'm just like,
Yeah. It's not either or. It's
No.
not either or. It can be this,
go
you
do
know,
it.
and
Mhm.
yeah.
So I'm excited for that, which is scary and weird, but it's like, I'm sick of being stuck in doing what I'm doing and afraid to make a change. Because it's like, you just don't want to give up. But even then, it's like, I've made so many advancements in my career. I've gotten on TV. I've gotten my agents. I've done all this. But like, when is it enough? When do you know? When is
You
it?
were top 5 in Last Comic Standing.
Pretty cool.
That's
Which is
fucking
so
amazing.
weird.
That is amazing.
Yeah,
You know,
that
one
was
of my
cool.
best friends is Corey Kahaney, and she was in season 1 of
Oh, yeah.
of Last Comic Standing, and also does cruise ships all the time now.
So fun.
Yeah. But no, I have to say, I don't, for some reason, I have this tickle in my throat, so I keep doing this, so you don't hear me clear my throat. But you know, look, I'm 64, so I've been around for a long time, and I started pursuing my dream. No, I don't know why I put quotes about around my dream. My dream was a real dream. It was a dream. You couldn't see it, but when I moved to New York at age 22 to go to acting school, and you know, I'm still doing what I'm doing, you know, and I've done all sorts of shit in between. I had kids, you know,
That's
whatever. But it doesn't have to be this or, it can be this and, you know, and yeah, I do think that hopefully COVID in many, you know, I'm sure countless instances has made people do things they wouldn't do, see the world differently, see their families differently, maybe see themselves differently, you know? So I'd go to Japan. Arigato. That's it. Arigato and sayonara and eel roll. That's the end of my Japanese.
Oh my God.
California roll. Okay. I can say that. So let me ask you a question. What would you say that you lost there in that beautiful story? And what would be the lesson?
Gosh. I mean, essentially, I guess I just lost. I don't know. I lost the false security that I was fine in a weird way. Like I remember, like I'd been dreading this and then thinking like, maybe I'm okay. But then I lost that, which is like, no, this is serious. This is reality. Your heart needs help. It needs something. It needs something big. Which I'd been kind of, it had been, my last surgery was in 96. So it had been, you know, 20 some years.
24.
Yeah, since I had that. So I was kind of hoping like, okay, maybe I'm fine. Maybe.
And that's a long time. And that's a big chunk of you were born in 86, right?
87.
87. So that's, so that's a huge portion of your life.
Yeah.
You were like, okay, maybe I'm okay.
Yeah.
Right. So you lost the belief that you were okay.
Yeah. Yeah. Where, you know what? I'm done with surgeries. I'm done. I've got this under control. But in doing that, now I've entered this new world of like reality, and this new reality of this is what you're dealing with, but you can handle it. Like you've got a pacemaker and things aren't easy, but you can handle it. And also, I'm not afraid of dying anymore. Like I am just flat out not, because I came out with it. And I even told my husband, I was like, please know that if I die or anything, I even have it written out in one document on my phone. I'm sure it'll go through my phone, which please don't go through my phone. Hey guys, I had an amazing life. I did everything I wanted to do. Maybe I haven't had kids. I haven't got to experience that, but whatever. I loved my life. It was pain, good, whatever. It was a great time. Please mourn for a couple days, but then just freaking get on with your lives. Have fun. Enjoy your life. Like, we're all going to die. Because I was in denial. I remember thinking I'm not going to die. I thought we're in a computer program and each of us doesn't die. People around us do, but we keep growing until we're 1,000. I don't know.
Yeah. You had some serious denial going on.
Serious, like insane. Just being like, even though I've lost like my dad when I was 23, it's like, even then I was like, well, that was him. I'm not going to die.
Yeah.
So
but that sounds like a huge liberation.
Yes. It completely is. It still scares my family. Like, well, we don't want you to die. And I'm like, I get that. I don't want to die either.
Yeah.
Sometimes I'm just like, I'll be scared, thinking like my heart will be crazy. It's like, well, if I die, there's nothing I can do about it. And you know what? Maybe something cool happens after. So let's just be excited for what.
Yeah. Because here's what I think. I think either nothing happens, which I think is very unlikely, or something extremely cool happens.
Yeah,
so the minute you go, there's the people you've left behind are grieving, but the minute you go, you're like, oh man, check this out.
Yeah,
right.
Exactly.
All regret is gone, self-hate, all that stuff is just lifted. And I think it's one of those two. And and if it's nothing, who cares?
Yeah, who cares?
Right. And if it's the other, that's pretty great. And I think the chances that we're going to end up in hell, whatever the hell that is, I think we're good to go.
I think that would be a major flaw in the system of life.
It would be.
Someone in IT needs to fix this.
No. IT. Can we get IT in here? No, I don't. I simply don't believe in that. But Kathy Griffin used to have a joke. She said, I just have a feeling that if, when I end up in hell, and I know I will, I'm going to go, oh, hi. Oh, and you're here. And she's like, all her favorite people will be there. I thought that was a good joke. So I want to say three things. First of all, this was fantastic. That was a great story. Yay. Beautifully told, of course, because you're a storyteller. But also really, like a real fucking story, we're talking, we're talking EMT and llamas and ICU and heart stopping and pacemakers, and then like liberation, like a feeling of liberation, which is, I would say, a very small percentage of people on the planet have that. So that's a huge gift that you were given. Right? So that's number one. Number two, I want to say, I'm a little bit on the woo-woo side, just so you know. I do affirmations and I meditate. Okay. So I would like to suggest to you that you love your heart every day. I would suggest that you wake up every morning and go, I'm so grateful for my heart. Just go, morning heart. How you doing? Hi. Create, you know what I mean? Because your heart is doing the best it can. Your heart is doing the best it can. And I don't think it signed up for this necessarily. Do you know what I mean? I don't think it woke up and said, you know what? I'm going to fuck with Andy. Fuck her. Just a suggestion. Okay. And then my last thing is there's this meditation that's called a mind-heart meditation. It's really simple. And you breathe, put your hand over your heart, your right hand first, then your left hand. And you breathe in for the count of 5 seconds. And you picture that you're breathing in that the breath is going right into your heart. And then you breathe out for 5 seconds. And this head-heart cohesion is supposed to be really great for you on all these different levels: creativity, groundedness. And if you just do that every morning for 3 minutes, it's rather transformational.
I love
that. Yeah, it's really easy. It's like, it's really not easy because by breath number 4, I forget that I'm supposed to be breathing into my heart and I'm thinking about what the dog's doing. But then you just bring yourself back and you do it again. So that's it.
Love it.
That's my little woo-woo suggestion for you.
I love it. I knew you were woo-woo. I had a feeling.
but love just wake up every morning and go, I'm so grateful for my pillow and my husband and my heart. I'm so grateful for my heart. Like create a loving, let go of that adversarial thing. Really.
I agree. it'll be hard, but I think I can do it if I just a little bit of time every morning.
Yeah, right. And look, it's easy for me to say because I don't have a fucked up heart. So it's easy for me to say, right? It is like easy for you, Nelsie. You don't have my fucking heart, bitch. Known you for 50 minutes. Who the hell are you?
Oh my gosh. I love you.
Okay. We're talking for a very long time because it's been so much fun, but we do end with 3 questions.
Okay.
First question, something you hope to lose in the next year.
I lose my sense of what it feels like to live in America.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Because
okay, I like it. I'm gonna lose.
Japan.
She's getting the hell out of town. Okay, something you hope to gain in the next year.
Oh, so many Japanese friends, so many sushi rolls without seafood, maybe tofu. So many sakura blossoms and just
a bunch of
new languages and be closer to my husband and maybe find a squirrel and live with it. Japanese squirrel and have it.
I did not see the squirrel coming. I did not see that coming.
They're always on my mind. I'm always thinking about them.
Okay. A Japanese squirrel. Okay. And last but not least, something you hope you never lose.
Hope I never lose. I never lose just my desire to be silly and have fun. And
yes, I am with you, man. Silly is way at the top of my list. Yes, I am 64 and I walk my dog and I skip. I skip. Sometimes I might do a little pot of array. I sing along to podcast themes. I am silly. If my children still lived at home, they would just hate me. But
oh my gosh, I bet they love it. Love it.
They do love me a lot, but it's hard when you have a silly mom, I think. It's embarrassing.
Yeah,
it's embarrassing.
That's true.
Yeah. Well, this was so great.
Yay!
This was so much fun. I adore you and I wish you all that wonderful joy and many things Japanese and multiple squirrels.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you. All right. So I told you she was great. She's so funny. Yeah. Oh my God. Check her out on YouTube and look at some of her stand-up sets. She's really funny. And I think she's going to go to Japan, not move there, but go have an adventure in Japan, which is very cool.
I've always wanted to go there. Yeah.
Yeah. Who doesn't want to go to Japan? I mean, my God, such culture and, great sushi. And
yeah, it's a crazy place.
I know. So in terms of from last week, we had Christina with her, this sort of feeling regret about something that you didn't do, but then in the long run being happy about it. We have kind of an interesting thing, right? From Topher?
Yes. So my friend Topher, he had a kind of interesting path and story and then moved over to a different thing. I mean, I'll let him explain in the video about the show. But yeah, this is my friend Topher. I've known him for a while. We're a week apart in age. We're very similar people. It's kind of interesting. But
and if you guys make sure you listen to Therapy Thursday because Topher was a guest on it.
Yeah,
and
his episode with Gloria will probably come out in a month. So
there you go. Anyway, so go into the future and listen to Topher. But right now you can hear his story.
Hi, my name is Topher, and I'm a 25-year-old retired military intelligence analyst. So just a little background about my job. So I was a security manager and an intelligence analyst. So basically I was in charge of maintaining and safeguarding all sensitive informations within the facilities. And I was also in charge of analyzing data that was received from external sources that I would then compress into digestible bits, basically. And I would present these data into analysis for my upper echelons or to my peers. And that was my day to day. So basically, I would work hours in a day, sometimes 12 hours, sometimes it'd be 24-hour shifts. You never know. Data comes and goes in real time, so you always have to be prepared to, intercept it, and you have to be ready to analyze it, because this is important information, that people's, lives and time depend on, So it was some heavy stuff. I can't really go too in depth about what type of data because of my NDA, my non-disclosure agreement, but it was a hard job, to say the least. And I can say that sometimes it gave me trouble, like it weighed heavy on my conscience with some of the stuff that was on there. So somewhere along the ways, like I realized that despite having like financial stability and the ability for, advancement where I could progress in my career, and I was great at my job, it was something that I didn't want to do for the rest of my life. So I quit my stable job in order to pursue what I believe now is my passion, or what I know now is my passion. So along the way, during my tenure and my experience as an intelligence analyst and as an ex-army soldier, I discovered that my passions are two things. It's health and helping others. So I decided, what is the best way for me to integrate these two passions into my everyday daily life, and how do I make, not even how do I make money out of this, but how do I make this my life? How do I make this my culture? So I discovered that why not just go back to school and pursue physical therapy or occupational therapy? I get to, it's a risk. Yeah, I know, because first of all, I'll just put this out there. Like you're going to tell by the sentence, I'm very not good at school, and I'm very not good at academics like that. So it is a risk for me. And, lots of people my age now, they're already on stable careers and they're not in school, and I think as your harshest critic, especially at the age of 25, where you start to see your peers excel and you're complacent, it hurts a little bit, but it's something that I would never take back, because I know that I'm doing everything in my veins to pursue my passions, and that helps me sleep at night, knowing that I'm doing everything that I want to be doing today. And, that's really, I feel like, what living is. It's sacrificing financial gain for my own mental health. And I think that's something that's so invaluable. It's a risk that I'm living right now, I'm enjoying, and I hope to one day, succeed. If I fall flat, that's fine. At least I tried, and it's not something I'll ever regret.
Wow. First of all, fascinating that his whole thing in the military is pretty fascinating. He does talk about that in Therapy Thursday. But yeah, here's the thing. Regretting gives us nothing. Regret gives us nothing. Because if there's something that you've done that you want to fix it and you can fix it, then go back and fix it, whether it's an apology or whatever. But if you've made this huge life choice, don't waste your time regretting it. Move on.
It's a waste of
do
time.
what, yeah. If you've made a career choice that doesn't fit, you can change it, right?
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
Absolutely.
At any point in time, I really think, honestly.
Yeah. I'm so with you. So as a matter of fact, this podcasting thing isn't working out. No, just kidding. See ya. No, so totally working out. So that's it. Make sure, guys, to rate, review, and subscribe.
We need the letter for next
we got to
week.
have something for next week. See, I remembered as Ronnie was reminding me.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh gosh. Well, Andy's story is so kind of extreme in that she has this congenital disease, this problem with her heart and her organs and her joints. That was, that's a hell of a story, right? To go and have a pacemaker in at such a young age. So I would say that probably what we're looking for in terms of a letter is I don't know. I started that sentence.
Yeah, it sounded like you had
started
some.
that sentence so strong. I did too. I thought by the end of the sentence, I'm going to have something. By the end of the sentence, I'm going to have something. Well, I think that it's about, she had to let go of an idea about herself, right? Like she thought that she wasn't going to have to get the pacemaker. And she thought for some reason, this disease that she'd known that she'd been diagnosed with very young, that she somehow was going to beat the odds. And she wasn't able to. And she had to get the pacemaker, which is only good news. So I guess the letter would have to be with sort of surrendering to your fate in a way and letting go, losing an old idea of yourself.
Something that you can't control. So you would just adapt. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
All right. Something you had to let go of losing and adapting. All right. In case you can't tell, it's May in the Northeast and like allergies.
Really?
I really have to I need some Claritin. Okay. So having said that, please rate, review, and subscribe, or subscribe and then rate and also review. And you can listen to us on all podcasting platforms. You can watch us on YouTube. And if you're watching us on YouTube, subscribe, make comments down there. If you have a Losing It story, you can DM us on Instagram at Losing It Podcast. You can tweet at us. You can make comments here. You can also reach us at losingitcontact@gmail.com. Did I do it right, Ronnie? How'd I do?
Yeah, you did good. Great. Fantastic.
You did good. So that's it, guys. Be kind to yourself and others. And most importantly, don't poop in the ocean. Bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Losing it, losing it, losing it, losing it, losing it, losing it. You came and you listened to the story. I hope so much that it didn't make you sorry, and I hope so much that you'll come back again.
Losing It, hosted by Nelsie Spencer. Produced by me, Ronnie Whaley. Theme song by Hunter Williams. Follow us online on YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, and all podcasting platforms at Losing It Podcast. Viewers can email Nelsie with questions or comments about life, writing, comedy, or even your own Losing It story for a chance to be on the Losing It podcast at losingitcontact@gmail.com. For everything Nelsie and everything Losing It, visit us at nelsiespencer.com.